Hi, and welcome to Epiphanies. I'm Reverend Jessie Brandon, and I'm a life cycle celebrant as well as a metaphysical minister. And I have the opportunity to bring together two of my loves, books and people. Today, we're looking at The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, and my guest is Laura Morrison. We'll have her on in just a moment, but first I want to talk about the book a little. And when I asked Laura to be on the show, I said to her, okay, Laura, you're young, you're an old soul, but you're young, and I want to know what the young people are reading. And this is what she gave me. So it says that Maggie Stiefvater is the best-selling and acclaimed author of the Shiver trilogy and the Scorpio races. And this is a spellbinding new series where the inevitability of death and the nature of love lead us to a place we've never been before. So it is a young adult fantasy type of genre. So without further ado, let's talk to Laura and find out what's going on. Laura, come on in. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
It's so nice to see
Nice
you.
to
You
see
look
you too.
lovely.
Thank you.
Have a seat and settle in, and I'm going to read your bio
Okay.
while everybody's getting a cup of tea, and I hope you're in a comfy chair. Make yourself a
thank
cup of tea
you.
here. And Laura Morrison has been doing Reiki since she was 7 years old. She's grown up with a passion for writing and wanting to help others heal their past and move into a better life. She has been studying healing modalities all her life. She is a quantum change practitioner. She does soul profiling and karmic clearings and so much more. She's really quite talented.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming today, Laura. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too.
Okay, so tell me about The Raven Boys. Why did you choose this book to bring today?
Okay, so when you asked me to bring something, because I was like, I read so much, and I was like, what books do I want to bring? But you had mentioned that you wanted something that was a little bit younger, and I love reading fiction, but this actually involves a lot of the main character. Her family is a family of psychics, but she's the only member in her family that isn't psychic, and she actually amplifies all of the psychic's power. So when I was reading it, it was right around the time when I was taking a course called Accidental Alignment, which deals with the ley lines or the ley lines all over the world and sacred sites and grounding your body and connecting you with the sacred sites and the ley lines. And this book actually came to me at that time, and they talk about the ley lines in it. So it was a really nice little interconnection for me personally. And it made me feel like, well, if this is a fiction book that people are reading and it's a bestseller, what I do, which I think is so weird and like, no one will get it, like I can't share this side of myself, it really made me feel like I could share that side of myself, like people would get it, and it was sort of a stepping stone for me to be like, you know what, hey, maybe I can be more out there with what I do, what I've been doing my whole life, instead of just sort of keeping it hidden.
Okay, so on that note, did you share this with other people and pass it on, or?
For a couple people, yeah, a couple people I shared it with. Mostly it was just more of like a bravery thing for me to share me with other people, not necessarily the book, but me. But I have shared with a couple people, and they absolutely love it. It's an amazing, fun story to read. Like, it's really fun, and it gives a little bit of an introduction to all the spirituality and the New Age stuff that I do, without being like, here, stack of books, like dive in, way too much for you. It's just a nice little like ease in there for people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there something in the book that you've chosen to read for us today?
Yeah, it's a little paragraph on the ley lines. Perfect?
Okay. Yeah,
All right.
perfect.
Yeah.
Now, and if you could give us a little, when you're done, give
Yeah.
us a little description, if they don't, of what the ley lines are. I know of two or
Yeah.
three places myself. So, okay, so
Sure.
go ahead and read.
All right. Can I just give you a little like beforehand?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, the story follows this girl named Blue. She's the one who amplifies people's powers, and every night on what is it called? St. Mark's Eve, which is in April. Her and her family go out to a cemetery and see all the people who died, who are going to die that year, and they write down all the names.
Oh.
Now, she has never seen anyone before, and this year, when she's out there, she sees this boy for the first time, and she goes, oh my God, like I'm seeing someone, like what does this mean? Like I'm seeing someone. And her aunt tells her the only reason a non-seer would see someone on this day is either they're your true love or you killed them. And now all of her life, Blue has been told that if she kisses her true love, he will die. So that's what sort of starts this whole little mystery off.
Wow.
So the little chapter I'm going to read to you is she's just finding out about this journey that these boys have been going on. So I will read you that a little bit.
Sorry, I need honey in my tea.
Go ahead, have some honey. Honey is delicious. So there was a section on Lee lines, invisible energy lines that connected spiritual places. There was a section on Owen Glendower, the Raven King, and there was a sections about legends of sleeping kings who waited beneath mountains for discovery and new life. There was a section of strange stories about sacrificed kings and ancient water goddesses and all of the old things that ravens represented. More than anything, the journal wanted. It wanted more than it could hold, more than words could describe, more than diagrams could illustrate. Longing burst from the pages in every frantic line, every hectic sketch, and every dark printed definition. There was something pained and melancholy about it. A familiar shape stood out from the rest of the doodles. 3 intersecting lines, a long beaked triangle. It was the same shape Neve had drawn in the churchyard dust, the same shape her mother had drawn on the steam-showered door. Blue flattened the pages to get a better look. This section was on Lee lines, mystical energy roads that connected spiritual places. Throughout the journal, the writer had doodled the 3 lines over and over again, along with a sickly-looking Stonehenge, a strangely elongated horses, and a labeled sketch of a burial mound. There was no explanation of the symbol. It couldn't be a coincidence.
Very cool. Okay, so can you explain that for our listeners and for me?
Yeah.
What is she doing there?
So in this scene, she has just found a journal by one of the Raven boys, the one that she saw who will eventually die. And she's just sort of learning, because they're on a quest. They're on a quest to find this buried king that will apparently grant a wish to whoever finds it, basically. So she has just found this, and she's just going into this world of the Lee lines and going on this quest and finding herself while also finding out, trying to find this king with these boys that she's always had sort of, because she goes to public school and these boys are from a private school, and she's always sort of been like, oh, like they're all just jocks and ridiculous and like I don't care. But she's very intrigued by these 4 boys that she meets. And so they're starting to work together to go potentially find this king.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that some ley lines are Stonehenge and Machu Picchu.
Yep.
Is it St. Paul's Cathedral? Or
I think they're the ley lines are actually like energetic lines that run all over the earth, and they connect the sacred sites, which are like Stonehenge and St. Paul and Machu Picchu and different things like this. So they're essentially energy lines that you can actually follow and track. And when you're on the energy lines, you can feel the energy. Like they amplify our personal energy, and then the sacred energies of the earth.
Okay, so what is the point of going to, say, for instance, Machu Picchu? What will being at that intersection of ley lines give you?
I think it would be different for everyone, just like any spiritual experience will be different for anyone. But it is, for me, I think it would be just like you would feel the energy, you would feel that power, and you would feel that connectedness to the earth. Yeah, I think everyone will have a different experience, just like anyone who meditates has a different experience. But it is about sort of like that connection and that feeling that energy.
Very cool. Now, Laura, do you mind if I ask you how old you are?
I'm 25.
25,
Yeah.
Okay. I asked that because I want our viewers to know I've had people sort of, I would say, from 35 on, and I know that you are a young adult, so I wanted to make sure that we spoke about that, because I think it's important that people understand that spiritual awakening can happen at any time.
It can. It really, really can.
And for you, it was really young. Like, I mean, if you've been doing Reiki since you were 7.
Yeah, for me, I don't ever really feel like I had a spiritual awakening so much, because I feel like a lot of people, when they have their spiritual awakening, it's because they've been hiding who they are for so long. I grew up with a very, very accepting mom who very much she wanted to understand what I was like. So she went on this journey with me of discovering Reiki, discovering crystals, knowing what your body wants, knowing what you feel, trusting your heart, your gut, and your mind, your spirit, meditating. So we sort of went on this journey together. So she never stifled me. She never said, no, don't feel that way, or no, don't think that. She just sort of went, okay, let's learn about this. Let's discover this. I'm sorry, where I like totally got thrown off on what I was saying.
That's okay. We were talking about, did you?
Oh, a spiritual awakening.
Yes. Did you have one, or, and you're saying no?
No, it went on. I grew up with this. There were times when I very much hid it. When I was in school, I didn't talk about it. I didn't express it. I stayed very much like that was me at home. And when I was at school, I did everything that all the other kids did. So there was a spiritual awakening in that sense of me being like, hey, this is me. And if you don't like it, you don't like it, but I'm going to be me 100%. And I'm still having days where I'll go out somewhere and I won't tell people what I do. And then there's other times where it's like, you can't keep my mouth shut because I'm like, oh my God, you get it? Yes, let's bond. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I know. It's funny. Speaking of you get it, we were just at a store in Beaton, and we went there specifically to meet the owner because I want to have her on next season.
Nice.
And when another fellow came in and we asked him what he did, he started to kind of explain, and she said, it's okay. They get it. They're in our vibration.
Yeah.
And then he went into, oh, QCP. So I think you actually know him.
Oh.
His name is Alex.
Alex, yes, I
Yes,
do. Yes,
yes.
I don't know how to say his last name, which is so funny. But yes, I'm seeing him this weekend, actually.
Oh, isn't that cool?
That is so funny. I'm going to tell him.
Yeah. So there we were in this shop, and he comes in, and we meet him, and we're talking about how I got to the shop, which is my next guest, Dorothy Shelton.
Fantastic.
And yeah, it was just amazing. And then Shannon in the shop started, naming people, and it was, talk about synchronicity.
Yes.
And the universe just brought us all together, and we were able to share.
I love that.
And feel like we were home.
Yes,
in a way,
that's what it is. It's like you feel like you're home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there something about this book in particular that you would want our viewers to know so that they would go and pick that book up?
I would say if there's someone in your life that you want to sort of understand you a little bit without like necessarily bringing them like a Louise Hay book or a Wayne Dyer book. Like they're amazing, but sometimes people can be a little bit intimidated by those books. This is a very easy way to sort of slip it in underneath without really being like, oh yeah, we're going to start talking about psychics. We're going to start talking about energy fields. We're going to start talking about what you feel inside and how that energy affects your mood, or how different things can happen, or there's like portals and stuff like that. Like you can bring it in a way that people will understand, even if they don't understand energy, if they don't understand spirituality. It's a very easy way to sort of slip it in there and start getting their mind open up to it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to go way out on a limb.
Yeah.
But first, I'm going to take a break.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So we're going to take a quick break, and you're going to see some commercials, but you're going to come back. I know you are. So heat up your tea, get cozy back in your chair, and we'll see you in just a minute. Thanks. You're watching Epiphanies. it's Reverend Jessie, and welcome back to Epiphanies. I'm here with my guest, Laura Morrison, and we've been talking about The Raven Boys. It's a book for young adults, and it is a young adult fantasy book. And yeah, I wanted to see what the young adults were reading these days. So Laura, we've talked about the book.
Yeah.
Enough about that.
Okay.
Tell me about you.
What do you want to know?
Okay, well, we know how old you are.
Yes.
We know how long you've been doing things like Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you recently, maybe not so recent, have been upgrading your skills and taking QCP. So give me a quick list. I know I did your bio, but
Yeah.
give me a quick list of all that you do.
All that I do.
Okay. Have you
Pull
got
out
time?
the list. The top ones that I focus on, because I have anytime anything caught my interest over the years, whether I was still in school or after school, I took the course because I was like, you know what, that sounds good for my own personal journey, my own personal healing. So anything I liked, I would take the class and learn it. And I always thought that I would sort of keep it just for myself, for my own personal journey and my own personal healing. And then I guess it was a year ago, almost 2 years ago, when I took a course called Soul Genesis. So it's soul profiling and then karmic clearings attached to it. So it goes into where your soul originated from, what your eternal patterns are, why you act the way you act, what reoccurring events and traumas you have in your life, and why you keep repeating those same lessons. So the first session is like a giant profile of your soul, everything about you, the positive energies that you have, the negative energies that can be affecting you, and then we do clearings at the end of it to clear them up. And then you can come in for more sessions, anytime anything goes wrong in your life kind of thing, to clear things up, because it goes into different dimensions, it goes into past lives, it goes into your current life. It sort of deals with everything on an energetic, very like woo-woo level for some people. I love it, though, it's my life. So that course really made me go, I need to get, like, people need to know this about themselves. Like, for me, it was such a huge, actual spiritual awakening. That was one of those moments where I had this is why I am who I am and why I act the way that I act, and sort of helped clear up the stuff that was holding me back and allowed me to move forward. And then just recently, within the last year, I took a course called Quantum Change Process, QCP, which was like, once I had that, it was sort of like that moment of, okay, now I can work on clients full time. I was like, this sort of closes off my circle of everything that I know and all the courses that I've taken, and I can now help people on all levels. And so QCP is basically you come in with an intention. So whether you want to work on money problems, or you want to work on, you constantly feel guilty about stuff, or you can't move forward in your business. You're like, I know this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, I'm supposed to be doing this. Why can't I move past it? So we find out whatever your intention is. We figure that out at the beginning, and then we find out exactly when you decided that whatever's holding you back became true for you. So like, I can never make money. Like, that's a very simple one, but like, let's say I can never make money. It goes back into usually when you're a child, and either your parents weren't making money, or someone said something like, oh, money doesn't grow on trees, or like, well, you'll never be rich, we'll always be poor, like, you can't go to college. Like, those things that people say to you, and you take them in and you make them true, but they're just lies.
Yeah,
like,
they're just things people say, their perspective.
Their perspective, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're not true for you, but people own them. They're like labels. Like, people take them and go like, okay, I'm never going to make money. So even though they're constantly grinding, they're constantly hustling, they're constantly trying to make money, they just can't, because in their subconscious mind, they have this looping pattern playing of, I can't make money, I can't make money, I can't make money. So we go in and we deactivate that, and we go through all the cast of characters in your life who have ever made that true for you, and then get rid of it. We forgive them. We go through this process and say, no, this isn't true, and forgive them for it.
Okay, and I don't know if you can answer this, but
Yeah.
what's your success rate? Is
Is
that measurable?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because it's not as if every single person comes in for money problems, right? Like, everyone, like, that's a very basic one. Like, people come in for all kinds of stuff. They can come in for traumas, assaults, anything that's holding them back. I will say, with the people that I've seen so far, I just keep hearing amazing feedback. I just keep hearing the people that used to bother me at work don't bother me anymore. My family that I haven't spoken to in 25 years, we all got together and had a soup piece for dinner. For me, that's a huge success.
Yes.
Like, if
okay.
you haven't spoken to your family in 25 years and suddenly you're going and having like Sunday night dinner and you're all laughing and joking, like, that's huge.
That's very huge.
So I think also for anyone, it's how much they want to actually put into it too. Because it's like you can clear the stuff up, but if you're just going to keep doing what you're doing or looking at it the same way, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But if you go into and you get rid of these thoughts and you say, okay, I can make a change, I can make something different here, then you're going to have a success rate. So it's just how much do you want to play? Do you want to play 100% or do you want to play at 10%?
Right.
And I've actually had people in sessions that when they're only playing at 10%, I'm like, okay, you're kind of just wasting both our time here. Like, do you really want to get rid of this or do you want to hold on to it? And usually they stop and go, oh, I want to get rid of this. So
Yeah.
it's awesome and I love it.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I had 1,000 questions
Sorry.
going through my mind, and I was like,
Sorry.
I want to know. Okay, they're all gone now.
Okay.
So apparently you've answered everything.
Okay.
No, I know what I was going to say.
Oh.
I want people to understand that this is not magic. You're not going
No,
to do this.
I'm not waving a magic wand over you. This is, and it's very much, some of the other modalities I have, people can be completely quiet and have amazing changes. With the QCP, it's them. As much magic as they want to bring into it, that's what they're doing, if you want to call it magic. But no, it's as deep as you want to go. It's like if you want to go and get right into that issue, like let's do it. Like I'm there for you. I'll be with you there. They last about 2 to 3 hours for the first session. And we'll get right into that issue. Like we will get right down in there. Like I have had people turn around to me in sessions and be like, I hate you right now. And I just sort of sit there and be like, okay, that's fine. You can if you need to hate someone while you are dealing with this traumatizing stuff that you've gone through, that's fine. Hate me. And then by the end of the session, they're giving me a hug and being like, oh my God, this was amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm like, you're welcome.
So what is the difference between this
Yeah.
and, say, talk therapy?
To me, they're so different. I can't even put them on the same thing.
I'm gonna give you my answer,
Yeah.
and you tell me
If
what
it's-
you
if-
think.
yeah.
Well, for me, talk therapy is about being in your head.
Yes.
And it's
and
about
it's like a looping. It's just like you're just
Yes.
talking about the same thing
You're-
over and over and over again.
Yeah, so you're relating the trauma as
Yeah.
opposed to.
This is going in, removing it, deactivating all the events from that moment to the present of when that was triggered.
So do you take the person back to that point in time?
We do. It's not like a past life. It's not like a past life regression or like
Yeah.
a go back in time sort of thing. It's very much. It works in a mirror. So you're actually looking into your left and right eye, and you deal with the male and female people in your life, and you go in and you forgive them for everything that they've done. And some of the time it doesn't even make sense that it relates to it until you're looking at it as a big picture, and you're like, okay, yeah, that seeming thing that had nothing to do with it totally makes sense. Totally makes sense. There was one woman who didn't feel like she was enough. No matter what she did, she was very successful, very rich. She never felt like she was enough, and she was always picking these horrible people to date. And one of the things that popped up in a session was someone put gum in her hair, and she had to cut it out. So she always felt like she was bald and like she had no hair and that she was hideous. And it was like that sort of was like one of those like kid things, right? Like you don't think that would be affecting a 45-year-old woman, but it was. It was one of those things that she always felt like, I'm not beautiful, I'm not enough. And when she realized that, she went, oh my God, why is that such a big thing for me? Like, why am I holding on to that? And I was like, we don't have to anymore. And then now she doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, so there's an interesting point right
Yeah.
there. You're 25.
Yeah.
And you're working with a 45-year-old.
Yes.
How does that happen? How do they feel working with you? I'm just thinking
yeah.
because, you know.
Yeah, it was one of my limiting beliefs actually that I couldn't work on older people. So it was funny when people started coming to me and they were a little bit older. In sessions, I would be like, when they were hitting their blocks and stuff like that, I would actually bring it up. I'm like, if this is my age, like if I'm too young, I can refer you to someone who's your age. And they would all turn to me and be like, no, that's not it. Like that has nothing to do with you. And it was because it was going through my filters of me thinking that I was too young kind of thing. So yeah, because I have different life experiences. They have different life experiences. But I'm able to offer them a service that they've never heard of before, that they wouldn't be able to do on their own, and that they have no idea how to do it. So in that sense, I have something to offer them that they don't have yet. So even though I am younger, it's a knowledge that they don't yet possess, which I can then give to them.
Very cool. Very cool. Have you? Is this the sort of thing that you could take out to like a psychic fair and give a demonstration, or is this more of a private thing?
It's very much a private thing, but I could take it to a psychic fair. I would just do there's a tiny part in the process called the denial clearing. So the whole process uses applied kinesiology, so muscle testing.
Oh, yeah.
And meridian points. So what I could do is check their level of denial. So I would make them think of something that they want to work on, and then we would check how much their unconscious mind, because everything that I deal with works with your unconscious mind, because it stores all of your memories, all of your feelings, everything that you've ever experienced is stored in your unconscious mind. So when you're just working from up here, you're just working from the little 10% of you instead of the 90% of you.
Right.
So when we do the denial process, we actually find out how much your entire body, your entire soul actually wants to clear something. Because a lot of the time, people don't want to deal with their stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a really quick and easy thing that only takes about 2 to 3 minutes.
I used to
find
have,
out.
yeah. I used to have a friend who said, her mother always said, leave me in my ignorance.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to know. I just want to let my viewers know that if you want to find out more about the book, The Raven Boys, or you want to find out more about my lovely guest here, Laura Morrison, you can email me at jessie@jessiebrandon.ca. Ask your questions and I'll address them well, at this point, I'll probably have to address them in email because we're coming to the close of my season. But anyway, that's where you can reach me. I'd love to hear from you. So that's regarding Epiphanies. And Laura, I just have one more question for you.
Yeah.
I would like to know if you're able to describe an epiphany that has occurred for you and what it did in your life.
That it's totally okay to be 100% me, and that I'm not alone, and everyone else out there who feels alone is not alone. They just haven't found their people yet. But if they continue searching and they get out of their rooms, they will find people.
Very cool. I like that. Get out of their rooms.
Yeah, because that was a big thing for me. Is I hid in my room a lot when I was younger, and it was like, no, just get out there, because you won't find what you're looking for in your room. So go out and find it in the world, and you will find it, because there are people out there who are different and who are the same as you. You're not weird. Weird just means of spirit.
Yeah. Weird means of spirit.
Weird means of spirit. The old meaning of the word weird was of spirit.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, another fiction book taught me that, and then I looked it up, and it was actually true. There's a lot to be learned in fiction.
Yeah, there really is. That's where I spent all of my young life. I started reading at 6, and for me it was National Geographic, and then Reader's Digest, and then into fiction. And spent years at the Barrie Public Library.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that's my favorite place to go.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I just want to let you know how much it has meant to me to have you here today. I know that you're busy, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
And I'd like to thank you, my viewers, for watching Epiphanies. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you'll join me again. That's Sundays at 8 p.m. and then again throughout the week, and I'd love to hear from you. Laura, again, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. This is great. So good to be talking to you.
So good to talk to you too.